Kia ora, good morning. It's Saturday morning, and I'm just sitting here thinking about, God, I get so nervous. I get myself so worked up. Oh, my son keeps setting me these challenges with my cooking, with my baking, and he's so mean. But yeah, I'm having a go at making jammy dodgers, or if you're from New Zealand, Shrewsbury's. And it's basically like a crumbly, well, not a crumbly, but like a white sort of not a butter cookie. It's kind of in between a butter cookie and a shortbread. It's slightly chewier and sweeter than a butter cookie or a shortbread. It's not like hard to bite into. It's softer, and it's got like a layer of jam in the middle, and then another cookie on top, and then in New Zealand I think it's a circle. It's cut out the middle so you can see the jam. But over here in the UK it's a little love heart, and I'm panicking. Like oh my God, I get so nervous. And then to top it off, I made a rod for my own back. Nobody asked for this. Gabriel I'm making a trifle as well. I could make a trifle in my sleep. But he doesn't want anything with it. Like, no, because usually, like, when I do them a dessert, it's got ice cream and chocolate sauce and squirty cream. And, like last week when I made the peanut brownies, the brownies were homemade, the ice cream was homemade, the chocolate sauce was homemade. I forgot to take a photo because what happened was, after I dished it up for my boys and my neighbour, I was in such a state of shock and fear and nerves about that ice cream, I forgot to take a photo. But all I can tell you was there was total silence when it was being eaten, and it was such an amount of dessert for them to eat. They literally could not eat anything after they had that dessert. And I had like tortillas and dip and chippies and all of that here for them ready to go, and they couldn't touch any of the food that I had. They said that it was like, well, my youngest said it was pretty amazing, and my eldest was like, bleep, bleep, bleep. Like he loved it, said swear words and loved it. But they said it was like it was the right amount of everything. The ice cream wasn't too much. The brownie wasn't too much. It was like chocolate heaven with just a wee touch of my strawberry jam, because my strawberry jam can be used as dessert sauces as well. Like, it's thick enough for toast, but it's like you can have it on ice cream and put it with cakes and that as well, because like real fruit, like proper jam, when it's not got all the preservatives and colorings and all that sort of thing in it, it's nothing like the stuff you buy in the store. It's thicker and richer, and oh God, I love making homemade jam. Mine's sugarless though. And I'll be using my jams in a lot of things that I do. Some of my jams, like my raspberry jam, for example, or my strawberry jam, in fact, that I've just made, you can have it with things like game and duck. If you wanting just something a little extra to add to, like a steak or game, like deer and like duck, like the stronger sort of more earthier meats, my strawberry jam would be perfect. Just a little bit, just a little bit heated up to bring the flavors out of the meat. Yeah, so I tested some sauces out a few years ago, using fruit on meat, and it got rave reviews. Like it was like very, very, very well received, and all my sauces were pretty much used within a couple of days because they were using it on everything. And yeah, so and they were all like made out of fruit: mango, raspberry, strawberry. Um, I'll I'll actually use it for the cover photo of this video actually. But yeah, I made those sauces up and then like served them fish and beef and all of that like during the week, chicken, and got them to use the sauces, and tell me, give me their opinion, and all of them absolutely loved it. Loved the idea of having these sweet sauces with all these different meats. But the sauces can also be used on uh, in puddings, and like my mango and ginger one. You could have absolutely used with things like you could make a bread pudding out of like ginger cake or ginger loaf, anything sort of ginger, like gingerbread, even like sultana loaf in that, would be absolutely brilliant for that sort of thing. So yeah, because I try to make everything that I'm going to be producing. I try to keep it within a certain amount of cost so that you can do multiple things with it. So, for example, just hypothetically speaking, you might pay $10 or £10 for a jar of my jam, but it'll be like quite a nice big jar, and you'll be able to use my jam on your toast, on your ice cream, with your meat. So it'll be like multi-purpose. It'll be like a multi-functioning jam. So it makes your money go further. And I'm also trying to encourage people to like try out new flavors with their food, especially like British people and the Commonwealth, and that like we're big into sauces. Like when we have fish and chips or fish, we like to have tartare sauce and piccalillis and chutneys and jams and sauces and that. Like we like a nice sort of saucy accoutrement to our food, but there's other things that we can do with that accoutrement that I'm trying to get people invested in, because the thing is that my jams, my sauces, because I don't use any chemicals or anything like that, they become immune boosters. They become like vaccines. That's why I'm never sick. That's why my boys, their skin started healing. Remember, my boy had, what did the doctor say it was? Eczema. I knew it wasn't. And my son's skin. I mean, he had really, really, really bad acne rosacea, like real bad, bleeding skin and everything, inflamed skin and everything. And just in the months that he's been coming to me and having my food, and because obviously every week they go back with a bag full of fruit and their leftovers and anything that I've made them that they didn't eat. And because I do everything from scratch, so like when I make my this week I'm making homemade chicken goujons, because they really loved my KFC style chicken, and so I said, well, shall I try goujons? And they said yes, because if they like it, and then I can get a chef to work with me to just kind of zhuzh the recipes up, and that, then that's the sort of thing that we can put on our menus, like because I want to have a fish and chip place, but we can also get like chicken in that as well, and obviously putting chicken goujons and that on the kids menu, and also because I want to do like a range of food like for munchies, because obviously I've got to live in a country where it's legal. So I want to do like a munchies range. So I've been working on like meals and snacks and that. Like one of the things that I want to do for my food ferry delivery service, is I want to offer, like as part of the munchies range, sort of like after 9 o'clock at night, is any of the meat and food in that's been left over from the restaurant and cafe that hasn't been eaten, like, you know, pies and potatoes and that sort of thing, like you can buy them, or like they'll put together, like they'll say, okay, we've got leftover potatoes and vegetables and gravy and ham and blah blah blah, so we're going to put it all in a pot and fry it up, and if you want it you can have it for like $2 a plate, and we'll deliver it to you. Yeah, but it's a good way of getting rid of all the unwanted food and what we don't put out for the animals, you know, take into the forest and that to feed the animals and that, like, because like there's loads of things that you can do with leftover food that you are so happy you have when you're been out drinking and then you come home and remember, oh my god, and then you get to like, it's like the nicest thing when you've had a few drinks and you come home and you see that your mum cooked like a boil up or something, and then you get to sit down and have a nice boil up with all that bread, especially if it's like rewana bread, or cold fish and chips. Oh my god, probably 90% of Kiwis will eat cold fish and chips. They know the love of a cold fish and chip when they've been out drinking. But then I've got my brownies as well, my philosopher's brownie that I want to sell, which, because I want to get a license to sell medical marijuana. I want to put it in all my products and that. And then people who come to my wellness centre who have terminal illnesses, or, you know, like health problem, you know, like actual health problems, you know, like back injury or crippling arthritis, or anyone with health issues or terminal illnesses, or life-threatening illnesses or anything like that, when they come to our wellness centre, like, we'll give it to them for free, just to help them. We're going to have like a wee spiritual centre where you can go, like, no matter what your religion or your faith, will have what you need there, like your Bible, your Quran, your Torah, like, it'll be there. There'll be a place you can go and sit and talk to, if you're wanting to just like have like group therapy. Like, we're going to have rooms where we'll say, you know, in this room we're talking about the meaning of life. In this room we are talking about dealing with our childhood abuse, sort of thing. And if you want to go in and have a talk, you can go in and have a talk. And if you go in there and no one's in there, then you can just sit and smoke some weed, and or have some gummies or have a brownie or whatever, burn some incense, listen to some music, do what you want to do. Obviously you wouldn't be doing that in the bit where the chapel is. I mean, it would be technically a chapel, but it would be, we're non-denominational. We would be covering everything. We'd have everything you needed right there, whether you believed in something or not. The only thing I will not have crucifixes and pentagrams and anything that is a circle, that represents your religion in a circle. I don't believe in crucifixes. The whole point of a crucifix that people need to understand from an occult point of view is when they put Jesus Christ on the crucifix, they were trying to put an end to religion. They were trying to put an end to the way people saw faith and religion. If you look at the 4 points of the crucifix, as being arrows at the end that are all like merging towards each other in the middle, that's narrowing down your line of sight to consciousness. If you look at the exact middle of a crucifix where all 4 points meet, being the expansion of the universe, that crucifix and that religion is narrowing down your conscious expansion. They're wanting you to focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's what they want you to think. And that's not how evolution works, and that's not how faith works. Because faith is found, not indoctrinated. And when you're finding your faith, that's expansion, because it's opening your mind. And so a crucifix, or the correct symbol for the worship of Jesus Christ, because obviously after his crucifixion, he took the way we saw God and life and being good people in a whole different direction. I mean, the movement became global, and it is still around after 2,000 years, over 2,000 years. The Bible is the most read book in the world. That's because of my brother Jesus. And he knows it. And he's so cocky, he's so arrogant. His personality is so much not how people expect his to be, but I mean, you've got to worship him. He's just awesome, because he's the one that died for people like me. Him and my brother John, our brother John, he died for people like me, so that I could get to the point in the evolution of how people see God, where I wouldn't have to worry about being crucified, though people have tried to kill me. But it's because of Jesus and the way people saw their connection to spirituality and the conscious concept of there being a faith and a religion and a middleman and a God and a, sort of thing. That's all because of him. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here making these videos if it wasn't for him, because especially being a girl, they would have killed me. And he knows as well that Mary Magdalene had more followers than him, that she was way more popular, that she probably should have been recognized as the Messiah, but unfortunately they lived in a time where a woman was never, ever, ever, ever gonna ever be allowed to be a Messiah. Bugger that. Imagine all that pressure. I don't know how he did it. That's why he's so worshipped, because he took it all in his stride. When he had his meltdowns and stuff, he wasn't afraid to show his emotions when he was yelling at Father. He was the first one to just let it all out. He was a hippie. He was, he was in a scene, so he was a magician. He knew how to work with alchemy and magic and energy and all that sort of thing. The things that he was able to get people to see was phenomenal. He was, God bless Mary Magdalene, but she didn't have the skills that he had. Her word and her following would never have been enough to make the impact that needed to be made, because she couldn't do the things that he could do, because he was a magician. He was in a scene. And when those missing years, when he went off to India and the Middle East and all of that, he learned some stuff, because he surrounded himself with cultures that had such a deeper understanding of spirituality and our connection to the universe, and that he would never have learned just growing up around Palestine and Israel. So when he went off to find himself, he found himself. And what he found was pretty awesome, and he brought that back. And he was able to construct things and do things with energy that turned water into wine and one loaf of bread into 50. He could walk on water and stuff. Um, he knew how to work with people's senses, with their food and their sight and their sound and their touch and all of that. Like he was the absolute master of it. Because what we're here to put out is supposed to help heal people, and that's my food. I call it supernatural foods because it's everything's supernatural, but it's also supernatural. It's magic. It's magic food. It heals you as you eat it. And I've noticed, my neighbour, the way that he's just so much happier now. And because I love on him and I leave him like little notes telling him to hold his head up high and remember that he's loved and all of that, because he's such a sweet kid and he's very protective of me. He's got my back. They've all got my back here because they know about my ex. They know my story and that. And he has an impeccable sense of taste and smell. He helped revolutionise my Easter cookie. So, so I use him to his full advantage. And I'm every week I knock on the door, food fairy delivery, food fairy. I say, and he opens the door. He gets so excited. It's like the best part of his week is when I turn up. He never knows what he's going to get. But over the last few weeks, sorry, bit of wind knocked my TARDIS off. Oh no, it was a Dalek. Yeah, he gets excited. I've started leaving him a little menu. I'll say this week I'm doing, yesterday I put a little note through his door and I said, on Monday I'm making trifle and Shrewsbury's and coffee ice cream. Are you in? Like he's got to bring his cups back down. I don't have the proper serving stuff. I should probably get some takeaway containers because I'm always having to take my cups and plates up, and he takes the longest time bringing them back. And I need them to put the next lot of stuff in usually. So, yeah, but this week he got the chocolate brownie dessert. He got a lot. He got the little pastries that I wanted to try out. He got shortbread. He got chocolate chip pancakes. Just trying it all out because what I put on my menus matter. It matters because I use alchemy. I work with the molecules inside food, like I'm using magic on atoms, and I work with the molecules in food. So every single ingredient that goes into what I make has a purpose to it for your body. We're going to have some things that you can have if you're like feeling a bit naughty, because we're going to have like what we call our naughty and our nice range. And the naughty stuff will be the stuff that has sugar in it, like our ice cream, because it's I've tried, and it just ice cream without sugar in it just doesn't have the same texture and consistency of what I'm looking for to put in cones and in desserts and in my my ice cream parlour / milk bar. But it's not going to be a lot of sugar. Like the recipes that I'm working on, it's like it's an acceptable amount of sugar. It's not. If you had this ice cream every day, it's not going to do you any harm. If you had it more than a few times a day, well, I mean, that would be a problem. You need to look at why you're eating your feelings if you're eating a whole thing of ice cream in a day. but yeah, so and this week because is coffee and cream ice cream is one of my all-time favorite ice creams in the whole world. So and they didn't ask for ice cream. Like they were quite happy with the trifle. They didn't want anything with the trifle, like cream or ice cream or anything like that. They just want the trifle. And I was the one that said, well, do you mind if I have a go at making coffee ice cream? Because I found a recipe I want to try. And the response, well, I got nothing from Thomas. And Gabriel was kind of like, I mean, if you want. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like, I said to him, I don't have to do it if you don't want. I just want to perfect. And he goes, no, you're going to make it. He said, you can do this, Mum. I mean, it has to be done. I have to learn these recipes. It's just I don't have any of the kitchen stuff that I want. And I'm not artistic, so I can't, when it comes to decorating and serving anything up, like I'm a mum, unfortunately, it's going to be exactly how a mum serves up food to her family. It's not going to be the greatest, but it's going to, like artistically speaking, aesthetically speaking, it's not going to be award winning, but you're not going to be, I mean, people's eyes light up when I take the plates to them. So that's always a good sign, and none of it looks like it was sculpted by a Da Vinci or a Michelangelo. So, but the feedback that I get for the taste, and because Gabriel will always let me know about the texture and that as well, which is what I love. Bless my heart with my giant, gorgeous firstborn progeny. He gives his feedback. He'll say, "Oh my God, this is amazing," or "Oh my God, that was so tender," but he just wants to eat it. But he appreciates it, and he always gives me compliments and stuff. But with Gabriel, it's like it's his soul. My niece Amber was saying maybe he's a future chef, and I said, "Yeah, I've always thought that." I mean, at the foundation, we're going to have a culinary school. We're going to have cooking classes and that for the kids that want to learn how to cook. I think that all schools should be teaching kids how to cook. They do in New Zealand. I don't know if they still do it now, but all kids from the age of 10 to, up until they sort of started doing fifth form, high school certificate and all that sort of thing. It was cooking classes, woodwork, metalwork, sewing, like they were compulsory, and we loved it. Us kids loved it. The boys got to learn how to sew pillowcases and nappy bags and things like that, and us girls got to learn how to make metal milk bottle holders and key racks and all of that, and I'm bringing all of that back. Um, and with the culinary school as well, it's obviously where we're working with all the supernatural foods range. It's where my chefs and that will be putting our food together, and menus for catering, and all the stuff that we put in our restaurants and food establishments and that, and our product range and that, so the kids get to come along and be a part of it. So I've never made jammy dodgers before. I've never made any. I mean, I've made like melting moments and yo-yos and all that sort of thing. And depending on who you are and where you're from, yo-yos you sandwich together, but some people sandwich melting moments together as well, just with jam instead of jam and cream. And because I grew up from a poor Catholic family, it was cheaper for us to bake than to buy cookies and cakes. We only bought cookies and cakes usually when we had visitors, like guests coming over. Otherwise, if it was just family and that, we got the baked stuff, and it was embarrassing for me. But my friends would come over, and I'd have to give them like baked cakes and cookies and that, and they thought it was the greatest thing ever. But my sister Laurie, she pretty much taught me to bake. Most of my recipes in my book are hers. But she took a cake decorating course, so she knew how to decorate as well. And my sister Paula was a baker for Woolworths, our supermarket back home in New Zealand. Um, Woolworths is like Asda or Sainsbury's, or what would the American equivalent be? What's an American supermarket? But not Walmart, because like Woolworths doesn't sell the TVs and all of that. It's just food. Yeah, but she was a baker for them, and for my around the world themed fancy dress birthday party, she made me a banana cake with like mock cream in the middle, because I love mock cream. And it was like a map of the world, and she'd like done a hand iced map of the world, and it was just the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't do any of that. I would be the one making the cream and the banana cake, and leaving it up to everybody else. Although I'm not going to be the one doing any of the cooking and baking. I'll have bakers, and I'm the ideas person. I'm the one who puts everything together and then hands it for everybody else to do. I'm the ideas person. I'm the one that keeps coming up with the ways to make the money, and then I'll have everybody else doing it for me, because one of three things: I want to raise my children. I really would like to have another baby, and I want to focus on um, being the creative person and staying at home. And my stomach, obviously, I have to work around the damage to my stomach, um, but having a baby isn't going to affect that, because it's not my uterus, it's my stomach. And I want to create jobs. The whole point is to create jobs, to bring income into the country, to bring taxes in, to bring tourism in. Um, whether we built it here or Canada or anywhere, Russia, Hungary, Italy, Spain, I want to be known for my food. Um, we're the comfort food. You're not going to have 5-star Michelin chef meals, and where you have to use multiple forks and things like that. We're the comfort food. We're the food that you have when you go home to Nana and Granddad or Mum and Dad. We're fish and chips, we're burgers, we're going to be, like pies and soups and rolls and garlic potatoes and hearty, wholesome, seasonal foods. But everything you eat is going to make you feel incredible when you walk out. You might feel full. You're probably gonna be rolling back to your rooms and back to your hotels and your houses and all, and back to your truck or whatever, with a full belly. Um, but you're gonna feel incredible. My pumpkin pie, I think, is gonna do very well. It kills cancer cells. It lowers blood pressure. I can do a completely sugarless range. I can even do a range, for people with heart conditions and that, because they can't have a lot of desserts and puddings and that sort of thing, and everybody should be able to enjoy a little something every now and then. I've even got like a cream cheese icing to replace icing sugar in some of my cakes. You just have to eat them like within a couple of days, obviously, because it's fresh dairy. But for people that can't have like sugar and all of that. And I know this because my first husband's dad had was a double bypass heart surgery, and his diet was very, 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 very strict, and he absolutely loved my banana cake. And they tried to say that I was killing my father-in-law to get the will, because they were from a wealthy family. They called me the N word. I was the N-word to them. I was from the wrong side of the tracks and I was too black, and you know how white I am, but they knew the colour of my mother. And they said that they didn't care if they had N-word grandchildren as long as they had grandchildren. Well, the mother-in-law did. The father loved me. And I used to, every time I saw him, I used to take him banana cake. And I'd take him one to eat and one to put in the freezer. And they tried to say that I was killing him because I was giving him stuff with egg and sugar in it. But I had been replacing the egg with baking soda and milk. And I replaced the sugar with orange juice. And he absolutely loved it. And they didn't know that I was making these cakes specifically for him, for his diet, because of his heart. So that shut them up pretty quick. Sorry. I have a history of the in-laws and that. It's never really the fathers. But, yeah. Anyway. So we're going to have a naughty range, we're going to have a nice range. My Scottish tablet is going to be the you will sign a legal waiver and don't hold us responsible if you end up going into diabetic shock. Because this is straight from the bowels of hell kind of menu range. Almost a kilo of sugar, mate. Almost a kilo of sugar. Just, oh my God. And they were eating it for like 3 weeks. I felt so guilty. But it's the pure stuff. And I can make like fudge and Russian fudge and coconut ice and all of that, which they make, you know, like when you're poor, you learn how to do things like, well, in my family, like when you had to watch your money, because our family just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. So Christmas became very expensive in my family. So you had to like budget. And we, like Amber and I especially, and I know Paula, my sister Paula had done it, and even my sister-in-law Georgia, I think. You know, we would make our Christmas presents, we'd make up gift baskets, we'd make up things, and that was so much more well received than something that I could have ever bought them, because like my family, even now, they keep saying, but you were always the baker, you were always a good baker. Everyone in my family knew that I was always going to have the homemade donuts and the cakes and the sponges, and you know, but I'm nothing special. I'm a mum. I cook like a mum. And that's what I realised. That's what I'm marketing. That's what I'm going to be profiting on, is the fact that when people are around me, they feel mothered. They feel looked after and cared for in a way that only a mum can do. I'm like Mother Nature. I am Mother Nature. I mean, yeah, I am Mother Nature. I am the granddaughter to Papatuanuku, who is Mother Earth. So, yeah. Demeter, Persephone, it's who I am. I know how to take the earth, and I know how to use magic to weave it into something that heals people from the inside out. And I call that supernatural foods. And I'm making jammy dodgers, and I've never done it before, and I'm so nervous. And then it's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's just I'm so afraid I'm not going to please my boys. But like a fate worse than death for me would be if I laid the food out in front of them and they were like, no, I didn't. Oh, no, Mum. Sorry. No, I didn't like that. But what I get is, oh my God, Mum, I'm obsessed with your stews. Can I have an, like, every time I say, what do you want? Stew. Every time I made him a stew the other day, and he's got the leftover, because I'm feeding them so much they're getting too full. So I'm feeding them as leftovers that's in the freezer. He's going to have that when he comes back as leftover stew, and it's, oh my god, once it's reheated, it's just gonna be like, oh, to have. It'll be so tender because it was tender when I made it. Got to make a stew in a crock pot. Whoever invented a crock pot needs like some world award. It's one of those things that I will never be able to live without now, and I'll have to get big ones for Mama Bear's cafe and that, because in the winter time I want to do like big cauldrons and crock pots of stews and casseroles and all of that, so you can walk around with, like, nice hot bowls. And so, and our bowls will be the ones that we get from like charity shops. Yeah, so will our furniture, charity shops and auction houses, and it's just going to look like stuff she found along the way. So yeah, plus it's a great way to like support charities. And yeah, so we're going to buy up all like the bowls and cups and all that, and it's going to be in Mama Bear's kitchen, cafe and bakery. But then we're going to have like the takeaway shop, and then we're going to have the ice cream parlour and milk bar. I really want to promote people taking their dates to having date night at our milk bar ice cream parlour. My mum and dad, when they were dating, they used to go to the milk shop and like have a milkshake or have an ice cream, because my dad used to say that mum used to try all the flavours. Her waist was so small that he could put his fingers around her waist and his fingers would touch. His thumbs and fingers would touch. Her waist was so, she had like an 18-inch waist. She was so tiny. But he used to say that like when they went to the movies to see Elvis or something like that, like she'd buy one of everything in the shop, and she'd be like, oh, he used to torment her something cruel. But yeah, they used to go on dates at the milk bars and milk shops, and they have them in Italy. Italy gets it. They have them in Scotland, like milk ice cream parlours, and in some places like in Mount Maunganui and Tauranga, and all around that area, the Naki and all that, they have like the milk shops and ice cream parlours and that there. But Italy, they take it to a whole new level, like in Rome. Oh my god! So I pay attention to these sort of things. I'm going to do Vitari. I'm going to do frozen yogurt as well, but it'll be all our dairy. But every morsel, every ingredient that goes into everything I make has a purpose to it for your body. From the tea that you drink with the tea service that Miss Mouse does at the brew house, and the coffee that you have with your cake, like all of it is designed to work with you on a molecular level that is going to like heal your soul from the inside out. So my menu has to be perfect, and if I let Gabriel down, I'm never gonna I won't be able to live the shame. I put that pressure on myself. I always get so nervous when I bake something. If it's something that I do all the time, like Afghans, it doesn't bother me. But if I'm trying out something new, oh my God, the stress, because I know what's riding on. I need to make money, and I can only make money knowing what I love to do, which is look after people, like pamper them, but in a motherly, homely way. We're not going to be the Hilton. We're going to be like, you've gone home to mum. You've gone home to mum for the summer. Or you've come home to Gran's for the winter, for Christmas or whatever. The hot chocolate and the warm fires, and that's going to be us. The stories before bed, because we're going to have story night every night for the kids, and they're going to have their hot drinks, whatever it is that they drink, and they're going to have cookies, and then they'll all go off to their rooms. And for the kids that are staying in the hotel part, they can either come and sit and have the story, sit with the kids, like at the Foundation and Dragonarium and all that. They can come and join and sit and have story time, or they can turn on their tallies in their rooms and watch a live feed of it. It's up to them, it's up to the parents and all of that, but our kids that want to have a bedtime story and cookies and that before bed, especially if they're at the Dragonarium, like the safe house for the kids we rescue, they'll be getting cookies and a story because it's what I did with my boys and my nieces and nephews. So, and it's what they remember when they, when I talk to them. It's the times we sat and played Risk and ate my donuts, and it's my food they remember. What they remember is coming to me and not having to worry about a thing because I took care of everything. So, yeah. So I'm going to capitalise on that, and the food matters. So I'm nervous because I'm making jammy dodgers, and I'm not worried about the goujons. I have made them before, just not with this particular coating. And it's getting rave reviews. I'm probably going to go with this recipe for the coating of my chicken and like my fish fingers and goujons and that than I will what I was trying before my ex tried to poison me. So I say that so casually. So yeah, so oh my God, I start getting myself in a tiz about 2 days before the groceries arrive, which is tomorrow. And then I've got to make everything tomorrow. But I'll put the jammy dodgers together Monday. Like, I go over my routine, I go over the menu, I go over the routine, because I put biorhythmics into everything. There's like an energy frequency, a certain frequency I'm in when I cook and bake, that I infuse into the magic of the ingredients and all of that, right? So everything has to be like work fluidly, how the menu flows, the effects it's going to have on their taste buds, the mood that I'm in. I can't do any of this sort of stuff when I'm in pain. When I'm in excruciating pain, sometimes I can't even get out of bed to feed myself. But I've been exceptionally good with my diet. I've been very strict on myself with my diet. And I'm drinking this cocoa, and I'm drinking this shilajit, and the methylene blue to try and help with the pain. And it keeps me going, let's just say that. But I'm a mum and I have hungry teenage boys, and when they come to me I need to feed them, like that's without question. So I have to push myself through it, and they always know when I'm really bad, when I'm in a lot of pain. Like, there's been times when I've been in a ton of pain, and they'll come and help lift stuff out of the oven, and they always have to come and carry their trays and that sort of thing, because I have to work around my stomach, which is why I have to work somewhere. I have to build somewhere where where weed is going to be legal medically. And it is here. I just can't afford it. So, that's going to help. I want to do weed infused oils. I want to do my brownies. I want to do chocolate Afghan as well, and sell them at the Philosopher's Corner, where my artists and writers and musicians that don't want to drink or just want to sit and write and draw or whatever, can sit in a nice quiet cafe on couches and have some beautiful indigenous coffees from around the world, that are from indigenous tribes, and have our range of weed infused products. Um, so I said, any artists or writers travelling by who are maybe looking to make a bit of money or just to have like a free meal, if they're travelling past and they're hungry and they need to stop and eat, as long as they leave us a piece of their work, they get to eat for free. Like, we'll give them a meal if they like do a piece of art for us, and we let us hang it on the wall in the philosopher's corner. Same with writers and that. If you bring us a copy of your book, if you you can earn a bit of money um, reading from your book to the people in the cafe, or your poetry or playing your guitar or whatever. If you just want to earn a few dollars, and you're just passing through, we'll pay for you to. You can make a bit of money reading or doing what you do, and if it's art, leave us a piece of art to hang on the wall, and you can have a meal for free. And then the other thing I thought I would do is any food that needed to be gotten rid of that we couldn't put out for the animals because, attracting rats or anything like that, leave a blue flag outside the shop, and it lets people know that there's food for free, like food to be given away, like come and take it. You can have it. So yeah, otherwise everything else will be given to the animals, and that helps with the ecosystem. You can't go leaving like chicken out for attracting rats and that, but we'll certainly make sure that bears and raccoons and whatever animals we have in our little Kelly forest and that, they'll have their treats and they won't be hungry. And because I want to try and encourage as much animals in the surrounding area to hang out on our land, until I can try and get hunting banned. Because that's one of the things I want to do with my money and my influence is get um, like hunting banned, especially like wolves and bears, and so I've even come up with an idea of a way to keep the deer population down, and I would certainly offer to be a trial in that idea. It's a brilliant idea. It doesn't hurt anyone, nothing gets killed, but it would keep the population down. Because that's what the hunters say, it's to keep the population down. I've come up with a way to do it naturally that doesn't hurt them. They get to live happy, normal lives. And if there's wolves around, they're going to do their thing as well to help keep them down. It's just we hunted the wolves, so they had nothing to take them down. They had no predators to worry about. But if I build in an area where there's wolves and there's deer as well, there's ways that we can keep the population down and let the wolves do the rest. So I'm hoping that all the animals will know that my land is a safe haven, and that they can hang out with us because hunters will not be allowed anywhere near my property, and every time land in that area comes up for sale, I'm going to be buying it. And then when I die, my kids know, my sons know that the businesses and companies on that land is theirs, but the land itself will go back to the indigenous people. They will own any land that I buy. But my children and my descendants will own the companies. We just have to basically, like, if for whatever reason my descendants decide to sell up, we're not doing this anymore, shut the foundation down, or we can no longer afford it, and everything goes away, the land goes to the Indigenous people. If it is no longer my company, it is no longer my land. I'm just borrowing it to do good things. But the other thing is as well, I will be employing Indigenous people, any local tribes. It doesn't matter what country they're in. Every country in the world has their Indigenous people, their original people. They're the ones that, the basket weavers, and with their foods and their art and their performances and all that, also offering them jobs if they're qualified, especially like in construction and all of that. There'll be work there for them. There'll always be work there. We're Indigenous owned and operated. And we will absolutely be giving Indigenous people jobs and helping out the villages. And that's the one thing I was looking forward to the most in El Salvador, is working with all the villagers. Their arts and crafts and all that, just absolutely perfect. And because we'd be selling the stuff that we get from, say, Tunisia, I'm just saying, or the stuff that we make in Tunisia, or the stuff that we make in Hungary or whatever, will be sold from the Indigenous people there, or Finland or Norway or wherever we build or do business with. Their stuff will be sold in all the other shops around the world, my shops around the world. So the product gets sold globally, because I'm trying to help them so that they can make money. And I mean, they have to be good. I'm not just going to, if it's children's stuff, it's different. But, your art and your music and that, it can't just be random noise or whatever. But you know what I mean. But yeah, the basket weavers, and they do just some beautiful pottery and all of that I want to sell in my art gallery in the Alchemist Cabin, because it's like a little department store, and there's an art gallery that's going to promote, because I want to learn how to do photography. You see, my son's going to teach me. We're going to get cameras when we get out of here, and in our travels we're going to be taking photos. He's going to teach me how to do wildlife photography and how to use my camera, because I want to do wildlife photography, and any that mildly decent, I want to put in the art gallery to promote our animal conservation programs. And then obviously any Indigenous artists, Māori, First Nations, Aboriginal, any of them from any of the countries that we do business with, because Indigenous coffees and that as well, any of their food, any of their art, any of their products, any of their crafts, anything like that, their jewellery, their clothes, whatever. If I like it, I'll sell it in our store, and they'll get the money from it to help promote the beauty of Indigeneity. People just don't get it. People don't realise how magic we are as a race of people, and the things that we can do with the way we see the world, which is so much more colourful and magical than the concrete jungle that has grown up around us. Some of us have still managed to maintain that connection with Mother Earth in a way that keeps our spirit with our ancestors alive, and what we wear and what we eat and how we move to music and the way that we communicate and all of that. And with me personally, my science. And I put that science, some of it, into food physics. I work with the atoms, the molecules inside food, inside the minerals and the vitamins, and the flavors and textures, and the cells of your body. So I do a range of jam that is specifically for winter time, for people who have problems with like chest infections. I have a jam that is for like your bronchial area and your chest and your nasal cavities, and when it comes to breathing. So and keeping infections down, and coughs and all that sort of thing. Just have have it on toast, have it on your cereal, have it in your yogurt, have it on your ice cream, have it with your meat, or have a couple of tablespoons of it every day, and you'll be right as rain. So it's like I'm an Indigenous medicine woman. So what I make is for healing people. So I get nervous because I've got to make money from this. And I want people who might have a problem with us rescuing unaccompanied border children in their countries can't be offended that we're looking after them if their taxpayer money isn't paying for it. I'm paying for it. I'm literally paying for it. Everything that I create is to pay for it so the taxpayer doesn't have to. But if they want to try our cookies or our pies and our jams and our sauces and they love it enough that they want to give us their money and heal themselves and be a part of doing something good in the world, then that's the best I'm hoping for. So that they don't focus on the fact that we're rescuing children, which, I mean, you'd have to be a little bit evil if you had a problem with these kids who were stolen from their families being in a safe place until we could repatriate them. Like that, you'd have to be a little bit evil. But there are some people that have a problem with it, that don't care that they're children and that it had nothing to do with them. So it's giving them a reason. It's not giving them a reason to moan. Nobody can moan and say, my taxpayer money is paying for this. It's also paying for them to be stolen. But I'm footing the bill. Nobody is paying for the Dragonarium. That's all on me. And everything that I make and everything that I create and produce is to pay for the kids so that the taxpayer has nothing to complain about. But if the stuff that I'm providing to help pay for those kids appeals to your taste buds or your curiosity enough that you want to use your hard-earned money to buy my products and that, then that's exactly what I'm hoping to achieve. I've said that I'm going to build my little cottage and I'm going to light my fires and bake my cakes and cookies and just open the windows and let the smell waft out, metaphorically speaking, obviously, and draw the people in with the smells. So it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on me. I can't get any of these recipes wrong, even if it's like, for my tane clay or my animal oils, my totem oils, or my perfumes and skincare range, and I can't get any of it wrong, because like my eyeshadows and my lip gloss and all that is biorhythmic and has protective qualities. So like if you're not into crucifixes or anything like that, you don't even believe in God, but you want to be protected, you want to feel safe, you want to not be sad anymore, or you want help with exams or to help you feel better when you walk out on stage and do your performance, whatever, you'll put my certain range of eyeshadows or lip glosses on, and it's going to help you. It's like medicinal makeup, but organic and natural. So it's like warrior paint. Us Indigenous people, we have warrior paint on our faces. With Māori people, we have like the mokos and stuff, like the facial tattoos. That's our warrior paint. And, with Mesoamerican First Nations people, they would put the things under their eyes. The Aborigines would put the chalk and all of that, the coloured chalk and clays under the eyes. It's war paint. It's a protective thing. A protective shield. So I'm doing a cosmetics range version, but I know what I'm doing. So because I use alchemy. So yes, I'm nervous, and I'm just expressing my nerves because I've got to make this stuff tomorrow. The shopping comes tomorrow, and the chocolate ice cream was a treat. It worked out beautifully, absolutely beautifully. People went quiet. And I actually said when I was washing the dishes from in the kitchen, I said I'm taking this silence to be a good thing. When I serve up stuff to my people and the room goes silent, that's when I know I've cooked something wonderful, because there's no talking, because I was raised that my family, my dad always insisted that dinner times we had together as a family around the dinner table, because it gave everyone a chance to catch up on their day and see how everyone was doing, and that sort of thing. So there was, and a family of 7, so 9 around the table. And when the mokos, the grandchildren, came along, the table was getting bigger and louder. So when the room goes silent, that's because they're focused on what they're eating, and they're enjoying what they're eating. They're savouring every moment. And so, yeah, and I said to them, I'm going to take this silence as a good thing. And that was my dessert. So, yeah, because obviously with my milk bar, Deliciously Dairy, you're going to come and have your puddings. And there was a place that I went to when I first met my first husband, and Hamilton, I think it was. Was it Napier? No, it wasn't. Hamilton? Well, I think it was Hamilton. It wasn't Hastings, it wasn't Napier. I think it was Hamilton. It was one of my favourite places in New Zealand, and they had a place there called Death by Chocolate, and everything on the plate was chocolate. And it was just like the greatest thing ever. This was like in the 90s. And it blew my mind, and it shut down eventually, but it opened my mind to things. So we're going to have, in our milk bar / ice cream parlour, is where you'll come for all your puddings and desserts and that, because I want it to be the date spot. I want to promote Deliciously Dairy as the place you come and bring your guy or your gal on a date, where you can sit and share a milkshake, or have a pudding, or share a pudding together, or whatever, and go out on a date, whether you're 80 or 18. So I want it to be the hangout place for best friends, and people on dates, and so anyway, I just had to share that. God, it feels like I've only been talking 5 minutes. See, when I talk about the things I love, I could just talk for hours. So so I'm going to go and have another coffee. My stomach's in knots, but I know it's going to be okay. I just have to have faith. I'm just so scared of letting Gabriel down, because he will not let me put anything on the menu that he doesn't approve of. We made a deal. He said, if I'm going to do this with you, if we're going to go into this business together, you have to promise me 2 things. One, you don't put your Victoria sponge up for sale until you get the recipe right, because it's not right yet. And he loves a Victoria sponge. That kid knows his Victoria sponge. And you don't put anything on the menu or anything for sale. Not a thing goes for sale, food-wise, until it goes past me first. So he's my food business partner. He's like the vice president of Supernatural Foods, and he's only 15 next month. And he's been my business partner since he was 10. So we've been working at this a long time. A long time. This is everything to us. We've sacrificed a lot to even just get to this point. So we're nearly out the door. I can feel it with every fibre of my being. And then if I could have my wish, I'd build the resort with the foundation in the resort. Because I was originally going to build the foundation with the Dragonarium and the resort, like Babushka dolls. But if I could just go like the whole full blown and get investors in and build this resort, I'd build the foundation and the resort. I just wouldn't theme it on, because I wanted to build up my stories and games and all that to generate interest, and have my establishments and that themed around my books and stories, and that I don't have to do that. I can just build it the way that I do it, and just leave like my theme stuff out of it. I mean, it would save time, because I just want to hurry up, and and build my resort now. It's not just about the foundation anymore. I've got the plans and everything to the foundation it's already done. Everything is all written out. It's taken me, I've dragged it out a little. If I had have just, it's just I didn't realise what I was building until last year, and I had to sit with it a bit to figure out what it was I was seeing. And then when I realised that, I'm building a holiday retreat, it was like, well, I could do that with the foundation, but just make it small. But it's like, but why make it small? If I can get the investment money, and I know there are people that are wanting to work with me in business, I know there are. I know for a fact there are. I can't work with just anybody though. That's the thing. But I know there'll be people out there that know if they invest with me, they're going to be getting a good return. As long as they leave me to it. So it's like, yeah, I didn't realise what I was building until I took a step back and saw the size of what it was I was building. So now it's like, why not just go hell for leather, and instead of just carrying all the cost myself and dragging it out over years and years and years and years, why not just get other people involved with their investment and just go big or go home? just go straight in with the resort and put the foundation in the resort and then have the dragonarium there. So there's towns and villages for sale all over the world. It's just trying to find a country that isn't going to put a clamp down on free speech, that does, in the very least, legal medical marijuana, because I'm not going to be able to survive without it. I'm not going to be able to do any of this without it. And I want to capitalise on it because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You'd be stupid not to capitalise on it. It has over 1,000 medical benefits. Don't believe the lies of anything they say. It's all to stop you from finding yourself, because this is the piece of earth that God and my grandmother gave us, that is designed specifically to connect us to her personally and to God personally, because it triggers the DMT release. And DMT is the hormone, the chemical in the brain that it's the God chemical. It connects you to the universe. It connects you to consciousness. DMT, dimethyltryptamine, it connects you. It's the chemical in the brain that connects you to the conscious universe. And they don't want you doing that, because they don't want you finding God, because they want to control you. Hence why I will never have crucifixes. It has to look like a cross here without the circle, because that means evolutionary expansion. And a crucifix means evolutionary control. And that is, you can't control evolution. Evolution has to be biological and intuitive. So there's a purpose to everything I said. So, right, okay, so I'm going to go and have my coffee and try and calm myself down. But yeah, I've worked everything out now. I've gone over everything step by step a million times. I know what to burn, what to wear, I know exactly what I have to do. It all matters. That's why it's called supernatural foods. Supernatural spooky. Supernatural magical. Supernatural physics. It's physics and food. I'll speak to you later. Hold your head up high and remember you are loved. Ka kite anō. Mwah.